If you've ever stared at a clock, wondering where the time went, you've probably wished for more hours in a day. Wished that it all wouldn't slip through your fingers as you perceive each day to fly by faster than the last. Though, have you ever wondered what would happen if a day on Earth really was 1 second? To briefly describe what would happen, a little background knowledge is needed. The length of what a day is dictated by the rotational speed of a planet. In our case, it takes 24 hours for us to make a full rotation. So, to ask what would happen if a day was really 1 second is to in fact ask, what would happen if the Earth rotated so fast it took only a second? Which is a question that has quite the interesting answer. The very brief and moderately glib response would be to say, we'd all die. The still brief but less glib response would be to say, there'd be mass destruction with solar system-wide consequences, the cause of which being attributed to a very basic principle, that of centrifugal force. Centrifugal force refers to the outward force being applied to the center of a moving body. In the case of Earth as is, this centrifugal force flattens our planet the tiniest bit, but ultimately is much weaker than our planet's gravity. However, in the situation of Earth rotating so fast as to spin about in a second, the centrifugal force would greatly exceed our gravity. The Earth's equator would spin at 10% of the speed of light, and as a result, the planet would be torn apart. This here is the part in which you and most all other forms of life would die. Your death could be attributed to the crust and mantle breaking apart in massive chunks, or how after a few seconds the atmosphere would be stretched thin and dissipate, after which all those massive chunks would shatter into even smaller chunks and spinning fragments. As such, the Earth would not be so dissimilar to a giant chainsaw, as the spinning debris spreads outwards and tears through anything in its path. The first objects to be destroyed would be orbiting satellites around the Earth, the ISS and a few geostationary satellites, after which it would take 10 seconds to hit the Moon, an hour to hit the Sun, and within 24 to 48 hours it would span the whole solar system. With each object, the debris that was once the Earth would unleash potent gamma rays from the sheer force of the collisions, upon which the energy would eventually sterilize the whole solar system from its radiation. And the destruction of the Moon alone would unleash a light so hot and so bright that it would scour the entire solar system. As such, we should definitely appreciate more the speed at which our planet spins, because if it was too fast, then we'd likely not have a planet at all.